Well, the Gravenhurst Fire Department are undergoing a great initiative, actually. And speaking with me from the fire hall is Larry Brassard, the fire chief. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
Great to speak with you, Melissa, and your viewers from your TV, of course.
Of course. And, let's get right to it. Before, you had this great initiative undergoing this giveaway or what have you. But before we get into actually the logistics of that, can you talk about the inspiration that stemmed behind this? I mean, quite recently, the fire department had to deal with a pretty serious fire, no doubt.
Yeah, the inspiration for the whole program has been going on for years, of course, but more recently, there have been several fires in southern Ontario and eastern Canada that underscore the need for this program in particular. So we're happy to be promoting it once again. We run the program year-round anyway, but just the events of the last week or so have really highlighted the need to get the message out to members of our community once again.
And I mean, considering this time of year as well, I mean, with the cold temperatures we've been dealing with this past couple of weeks, I mean, residents have had to deal with, a lot of extra safety precautions in terms of fire prevention and things like that, right? And carbon monoxide.
That's true. With the amount of snowfall that Muskoka has seen in the last couple of weeks, we've been asking people to pay extra attention to their gas vents, to the chimney vents, their stove vents at home, to make sure that carbon monoxide doesn't build up inside their homes as a result of snow blocking these vents. So people need to pay attention to that. It's a really important issue, and it's an issue that everyone needs to be concerned about.
And no one really thinks of that as well. I mean, I've spoken with many residents who I've sent this message out, and I didn't even realize that we should check that as well. People think, to make sure their fireplace is safe, and of course their wood-burning stoves are safe and clean, but you don't think to check to make sure the snow is not covering anything on the outside, right?
That's right. Your gas meter, if you're serviced by natural gas, is an important piece of your utility to keep clean. There is actually a vent on the bottom of most meters that needs to be kept clear, and if it gets blocked, it can interfere with the proper operation of your gas meter, which will affect the operation of a furnace in a home or perhaps even a hot water heater, those kinds of issues. So if you have fuel-fired appliances, you need to make sure that those vents and the interior, the vents that go into the devices and the ones that exhaust the fumes are kept clear, as well as, of course, of having a CO alarm in your home. Critically important.
Definitely. So let's talk about this now. Let's talk about this initiative. Give us the details on how people can participate.
So for years, the Gravenhurst Fire Department has offered free smoke alarms to anyone in need in the community. So we don't want affordability to be an obstacle to people. So for decades, actually, the Gravenhurst Fire Department has offered free smoke alarms for area residents. That program is underwritten, if you will, by local benefactors. The Royal Canadian Legion, for one, has for years donated to this program. So we have stocks of smoke alarms that we're willing to get into people's homes for no charge whatsoever. Now that is a law in Ontario. People are required to have these in their homes, and there is a fine for not having working smoke alarms in your home. But we're not looking at the punitive portion of that program. We're looking to educate people and to make sure that their families are protected. One really great thing about our program this year is that we've added CO alarms to the program thanks to a benefactor called Nolan's Story. I think you ran a program about this earlier this year. And so that program sees a number of carbon monoxide alarms having been donated to the fire department, which we're anxious to get out in the community as well. Every home needs to have working smoke alarms, needs to have working carbon monoxide alarms to protect your family. In concert with that, people absolutely need to have them placed properly, and they need to know what to do when those alarms go off at 3 o'clock in the morning. They have to have a practiced escape plan ready to go. We plan for our trips to Florida or wherever we go. We need to plan for that worst trip in the middle of the night as well. And so if people haven't taken the time to talk about escape planning with their families, it's something we really encourage people to do. And of course, the recent events highlight the need to do that. People are dying in house fires, and that shouldn't be. Our home should be the safest place for our whole family, and we want to make sure it's safe.
Oh, exactly. I definitely hear that for sure. So how can now residents get their hands on this great initiative, on these free CO alarms and smoke alarms?
Okay, so in Gravenhurst, people can simply call the fire department, 705-687-3414, and we'll get the smoke alarms to them, or they can come stop by the fire hall and pick them up. We have literally dozens of them waiting to go out into the community. So call us, we'll get them to you, or better off, if you can come in and get them, by all means do so. And so this program is specific to Gravenhurst, but I'm sure many communities, many fire departments in many communities offer similar programs. So if your viewers are watching from another community, it's best to check with your local fire department.
Absolutely. Well, I want to take the time to thank you for speaking with me today on this very important initiative. And of course, as you said, it's all about making our homes the safest place to be. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melissa, and your TV for always doing a fantastic job for our community. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Okay, we're going to take a short break right here, but we will be right back with more local news after this.